Serena Williams is one of the most decorated athletes in all of competitive sports history. Reading through her achievements is like reading through War and Peace. It goes on and on. And throughout all of her time playing competitive tennis, she has won 4 gold medals, 1 for singles and 3 with her sister Venus in doubles. Now, because of all of this and her participation in the Olympics prior, she had the honor of being able to carry the Olympic torch.
Okay, and we're going on the boat, and I'm walking down because it's very slippery. Okay. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, here we go. Made it.
Picture Olympic champions Carl Lewis, Rafa Nadal, Nadia Comaneci, Serena Williams, the international.
All right, everyone. We did it.
This is unique.
This is something I'll never forget. Fun. I'll never forget this. This is so cool.
Now, for most people, this wouldn't constitute any type of controversy, but because Serena Williams does have a history with Jehovah's Witnesses, it's a bit of a head scratcher.
Jehovah God for this. I was down and out, and he helped me today. Wow, as Venus said, first and foremost, I give all praise to Jehovah God because he really got me through this tournament. This was a tough one. This Sports Person of the Year, and of course, for me, none of this would not be possible without Jehovah God giving me the strength to do what I do every day and for waking me up every day.
Hello and welcome back to the JW Thoughts channel. My name is Wally, and today we are going to be looking at Serena Williams and what the implications could be potentially for her participating in the Olympic ceremony. Quickly, before we get into it, don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps get out to more people on YouTube. With all of that being said, let's look at some Jehovah's Witness doctrine and rules that potentially could prohibit her from participating in the Olympic ceremony. First off, we need to establish how Jehovah's Witnesses feel about 2 things. First being how they think about pagan rituals and how those constitute as false worship. Here's a video where they are portraying a child in a very awkward, difficult situation, all for something that isn't even mentioned in the Bible. Check it out.
It wasn't my worst day at school, but pretty close. It all started first thing this morning. Everyone was signing a birthday card for one of our classmates, Lucas. He just got home from being at the hospital for cancer treatments. No thanks, I'm a Jehovah's Witness and I don't celebrate birthdays.
What?
Lucas was one of the nicest people in my class. Maybe I can just sign it. I mean, it's not like I'm going to a birthday party. I know from the Bible that it's wrong to celebrate birthdays, but is signing the card really a big deal? I know birthdays are wrong because the Bible teaches that they are not approved by Jehovah.
Now, there's nothing in the Bible that would prohibit someone from celebrating a birthday. This is a Jehovah's Witness rule that they have made up, but they take it so seriously that they want children to stand up, and even if a kid has cancer in school, do not sign that birthday card. So they are very stringent when it comes to mixing of pagan false worship of gods that aren't Jehovah and their clean, pure worship. Now, the other thing that we have to establish is how they feel about their Christian neutrality and not wanting to do anything patriotic or be seen in any light where they were showing nationalism of any kind.
I have a surprise. So, my job gave us tickets to the game this weekend, enough for all of us to go.
It was a sport we could enjoy watching. Colette and I hadn't been in years, and I don't think the kids had ever gone. We were all looking forward to a family night out.
But, Dad, what exactly do we do during the national anthem?
Honestly, I wasn't sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand for the singing of our national anthem?
Dad, I have a question too. Will they salute the flag at my new school?
That's right. The conference with her teachers was next week, and we didn't know what they do there.
Okay, class, now that everyone's here, let's all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Elizabeth, everything all right?
What do you think, honey?
Well, tomorrow night's our family worship evening, so why don't we do a study project as a family on Christian neutrality at public events? The account of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego was one of our favorites. When King Nebuchadnezzar ordered them to worship the gold image, they bravely stood while others bowed down. They were determined to worship only Jehovah, and he rescued them from the furnace. And there are modern-day examples of courage, like the 3 Hebrews. Some children have had to take a stand when governments tried to force them to take part in patriotic events during wartime, when feelings of national pride ran strong. And despite legal victories in some countries, young ones today are still put to the test. We learned there was no one answer on what to do. Situations are different depending on where we live, or what a person does to show he's participating. But in every case, Christians in some way make it evident that they are respectful observers, not participants.
So even if a family is excited to go to a baseball game, they have this quandary, the huge dilemma whenever they sing the national anthem. Am I going to stand? Am I going to sit? Am I going to salute? Am I going to sing along? All of these are very serious questions to Jehovah's Witnesses because of the rules surrounding that, which I'll touch on a little bit later. So now, when it comes to the Olympics, are any of the proceedings of this a violation of these 2 things that Jehovah's Witnesses take so seriously? Well, we won't get too far into the history of the Olympic flames and whatnot, but from my knowledge, they continue this tradition of the Vestal virgins lighting fires at the temple of Herod. The fire was sort of sacred, stolen by the gods by Prometheus, and in ancient times, they would light every 4 years during the Olympic Games, they would light these fires at the temple of Zeus and the temple of Hera, so that's why they do it there. Now, during this initial lighting, there is this Olympic hymn that is sung.
Η θάλασσα και οι πνοές των ανέμων όροι.
And then that is followed by the national anthem of the country that hosts the Olympics, and then the national anthem of Greece. So we are off to a rocking start here. We have an ancient pagan tradition with gods and goddesses and priestesses, and that tradition is being carried down today. And that's followed up with nationalism, because you have national anthems being sung. So the question would be, is this something that a Jehovah's Witness would be allowed to participate in?
Yes, Mommy! Mommy, don't eat the toy!
Well, the short answer is no. A normal Jehovah's Witness would not be able to do this, in my personal opinion. And here's what I base that opinion on. So first off, there is a secret rule book that are given to this pseudo-policemen of Jehovah's Witness congregations. I say pseudo-policemen, they're the ones that essentially are enforcing these rules and watching out over Jehovah's Witnesses, boots on the ground. Now, I say this is a secret book because normal Jehovah's Witnesses that are not part of that pseudo-police, the elder body, they are never allowed to actually look at this book or its contents, and if you're a woman, you have 0% chance of ever seeing this because women are not allowed to be elders in the Jehovah's Witness faith. Now, in there, under a section talking about flag salutes, I think we will find some relevant information. Frequently, national flags are the objects of acts of devotion during patriotic ceremonies. Jehovah's Witnesses do not share in acts of devotion to symbols or idols, nor do they give worship to humans. Hence, they do not salute or pledge allegiance to flags. Similarly, they do not join in anthems that amount to patriotic prayers or expressions of homage to nations or human institutions. Sometimes the patriotic act has two aspects, such as standing and saluting or standing and singing. In these cases, standing in itself is not usually viewed as the complete act, amounting to idolatry or worship. Where both standing and saluting or standing and singing are involved, the individual conscience of the Christian comes into play. One Christian may feel that out of respect for what is represented, he can conscientiously stand, but cannot share by saluting and singing. Another Christian in the same situation may choose to remain seated or to be absent altogether during the ceremony. However, if full participation in the ceremony and agreement with it are indicated merely by standing, such as when an anthem is being played or when someone representing the group salutes a flag and the audience is expected merely to stand, then standing would indicate total agreement and participation in the patriotic act being performed. If a person in a band or an orchestra participated in playing a national anthem as a patriotic ceremony, he would thus be expressing total agreement and making an essential contribution to the patriotic act. A Christian could not do this and remain in good standing in the congregation. So participation in patriotic or nationalistic acts using symbols or idols is forbidden among Jehovah's Witnesses. It even gives a little qualifier there about paying homage to nations or human institutions. So, and again, my opinion is this would be looked at as something that a Jehovah's Witness could not do. Let me give you another example. In a Watchtower from April 2016, in an article talking about maintain your neutrality in a divided world, it says, "We pay back to God what is rightfully His, in part by remaining neutral in the world's political affairs. Thus, we do not oppose human governments that Jehovah allows to function, nor do we promote patriotic or nationalistic activity." What is the entire concept behind the Olympics? It is nations competing against each other. This would appear to be a nationalistic activity, especially if you are holding multiple gold medals that you won participating for your country.
Dominant win over Maria Sharapova to win gold in the women's singles. Here's her medal ceremony at a very, very windy Wimbledon.
Can be found in the July 15th, 2015 Watchtower, where it says, "Maintain your loyalty to God's kingdom." People who do not share our faith may feel a special loyalty to their country, tribe, or culture, or even to their national sports team. Challenges to such loyalties have resulted in competition and rivalry, and in extreme cases, bloodshed and genocide. So again, we have loyalty to a national sports team that could result in competitions and rivalries. This is what the Olympics is predicated on. Nations duking it out in competition, rivalries forming about who's the best at what sport, all to see who is number one. Again, these are things claimed by Jehovah's Witness leadership to be something that a Jehovah's Witness would never participate in. So that leads the question, how is she able to do this? In my opinion, the Jehovah's Witness leadership is in a bit of a pinch. Probably tighter than the pinch I have in my underwear right now. Sorry, I just had to get up and adjust my seat. I shouldn't use that take. In my opinion, the Jehovah's Witnesses are in a bit of a pinch here because they are going to have a situation where they follow their own rules and take some sort of action against Serena Williams. Whether that be just, hey, you're not supposed to do that, or whether it be full on removing her as a Jehovah's Witness entirely. A mere year after she is baptized as a Jehovah's Witness, they kick her out. For what? For holding a torch on a boat. Imagine the PR disaster that would be. The Jehovah's Witnesses already have a reputation for being hypersensitive to pagan traditions, all the way to the point where they are putting children in compromising situations with respect to birthday parties or saluting the flag. And now you're going to bring that onto a national and worldwide spotlight. Because if you're kicked out as a Jehovah's Witness and that becomes public, Or she starts talking about it, and she starts talking about her negative experience as a Jehovah's Witness. That could be really bad for Watchtower. Imagine if Serena Williams gets kicked out of the Jehovah's Witnesses and becomes an outspoken apostate. She becomes outspoken against a misogynistic doomsday cult and starts exposing them for what they are. That would have shockwaves. That would fundamentally ruin the Jehovah's Witnesses' public image, having that high profile of a person speak out against them. So taking action, they do risk that. And on the other hand, they also risk potentially getting some pretty high donations coming from Serena Williams. She has a lot of money, and Watchtower, they like and need money. So her writing them a few checks a couple times a year probably isn't an insignificant amount of money. But then on the other hand, you are going to have believing Jehovah's Witnesses look at this. Watch her being able to participate in these national anthems, participate in the Olympic ceremony, and get shown special treatment for her celebrity status. Apparently being a worldwide celebrity now makes the rules different. I thought Jehovah looks at everyone exactly the same, and they're going to resent that even more. So if people know that she was baptized and see her doing things that they know if they themselves did, they would face repercussions for it, it's also not going to leave a good taste in believing Jehovah's Witnesses' mouths. So which option do you take? Well, Watchtower is smart, and they are going to realize that they can probably shout down or hush any rumors that she does get special treatment, or never publicly acknowledge that she was baptized in the first place. And it will be this mysterious question that Jehovah's Witnesses will have to ask themselves. They'll have to be like, is she a baptized witness? And no one will really know. And if they try and look it up and they find videos like me, they might just say, oh, look, it's just apostates. All of them are only lying, even though we have evidence for her getting baptized. So a bit of an interesting situation, and personally, I'm not surprised that she did this, and I think it's really funny, and I hope she continues to do stuff like this, because flaunting the ridiculous Jehovah's Witness rules in the face of their leadership and saying, I can go ahead and do whatever I want, because you guys won't do anything. Because if you do, you might get some backlash, because if I start speaking out against you, it's not going to go very well for you bozos. So, hey, I'm all here for it. I think it's absolutely hilarious. So if she does get disfellowshipped, what a situation that'll be. But those are my thoughts. Comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about this situation yourselves. With all of that being said, stay safe, be kind, and don't forget to show yourself the same kindness that you show to others. And you better have a good ass day.